and we got this working. So, that without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and start where we left off then. Good, we're getting a decent start on this. Here we go. Okay, and let's see what we have now. We have a bunch of mail. Where are we at? Just make sure of something. Display settings. I don't think anything is on, but... Yeah, I don't remember if there even was motion capture, motion blur, but I always like to check. Okay. And it seems that we have more mail. Go see what that's all about. Lower the volume just a bit. There we go. 14 new letter. Oh boy, this is all the stuff. Take all. Delete. Take all. These are my account-wide mounts from my other, from my main account, or from my main character. All right. Crescent Moon. Brigand Stone Carrier. So we might be here a minute. Mega Shiba Flute. SDS Fenrir. Yep. Magic's Carpet. Fatter Cat. Magic's Umbrella. I like mounts. I do. I just like them. Then we have our Sleipnir. Aquamarine Carbuncle. That's an oldie that I've had for a long time. Lotus. Shadow Wolf. Horn. What's this? This is the lunar whale. Ah, that's the big multi-seater. All right. Let's learn these all so they're not cluttering up my Okay. That's done. Nope. That being all I wanted to do from there. Sorry about that. But now that our mailbox is cleaned out, so now we can go to the, I believe it was Middle of No Shit that we were working on. Yes. There's the, I think it's the farms that we were at. Yeah, yep, there's our wharf rats. So, we're just going to be continuing our journey then. Or are we going to stop and fight this fate? Well, we might as well get a little bit of XP. I won't say no to more XP. I like XP. Alright. So, let's see how much. Probably like... We're not going to get a bunch, but we'll get company marks, which we can then use. There we go. 200. 8 gold, 8 gil. That's fine. Oh, we have minions. I don't think I can use the mounts yet. But we'll see. Oh, maybe. That would be nice. Let's see. If we're going to equip a Actually, give me a second. There we go. Use that for default commands for now so I can actually do things. Okay, let's see. If we were going to use a mount, which mount would we equip? You know what? Didn't think we could. But it's there for the future when we want it. Okay, now I can tell you that for certain, they did make this all look a lot better than it did in the original ARR. But wait, let's check something. Slightly updated grapes. All right. Had to check the grapes. If you know, you know. It's kind of a throwback to Endwalker. For now, we're going to go here, and we're going to... Not actually going to buy an... I'm not going to buy anything because I believe we get everything we need. But right now I know... Certainly don't mind having all of the skill that I possibly can get my hands on right now. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to go back over here to the MSQ guy, Stelrin, and see what he has to say. Stelrin is up in arms. As his hired hands are nowhere to be found. Uh-oh. That sea sloth, Severin, and his lot, never around when there's work to be done. I'd sooner hire you for the sake of getting things done, but then the rapscallions would never learn. Round them up and let them know that Stalrin would like a word, and don't take no for an answer. All right. No. Right. I think this is the one where we kind of start to... means there could be one out here. Yep, there's one. How am I supposed to work with an empty stomach? Go on, have a guess at what I had for breakfast. Breaded sticks. Well, gods, how'd you know? It's my breath, ain't it? Probably smells as wooden as the food tasted. But you know why we're here. But I know why you're here. I just as soon get some real food in me, but I ain't got one. But I ain't one to reject a summons from the captain. All right, get back to it then. Ah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name. Axes were made for splitting skulls, not stumps. You know what I did in my sailing days? I'm going to guess skirmishing. You bet your bosom I did, lass. And those were the days. I reckon now I'll have to be satisfied taking my axe to the trees. That's right. Now, I suspect the last person will be up here. So, Stellarin sent you. And what do I reckon and what do you reckon I say to that? I have sauce here, Caesar, sir? Damn right. Didn't get where I am by taking guff from any glorified gardeners, but I suppose I could see what he wants to get him off my back. Yeah, don't make me kick your butt. I'll do it. That's kind of what my job is. At least for the moment. I ain't gonna fuck around over there. Ah. Severin. I am Severin. The old man's got an errand girl now, eh? Tell my dear old captain not to wet his britches. I'll be along. Oh, and just so we're clear, I don't care for landlubbers. Go find the chocobo you ride in on and ride on out. Hey, get back here, you. I think the other one's up here, like actually in the walls proper. Yeah, it looks like it. There we go. Work? Ha! Can't work when my hands are full lifting this mug. You know, I'd wager me last gill you'd never guess what I'm drinking. Swill wine. Well, you're right on the swill part. I reckon it might be worth a day or doing Stalwin's chores if it'll afford me the taste of proper grog. You know it. You continue to impress, lass. All but Severin are accounted for. It's no fault of yours, he squirmed out. I've let that worm wriggle through my fingers more times than I can count. But rest assured, next time I see him, I'll put him squarely in the dirt, where all such worms belong. All right. Let's see what we got for here. Okay, we got a Disciple of War. We got some Allegan pieces. All right, all right. We're going to go with the gear. For now. Beast Gauge unlocked. Dalrin worries his sack of oranges will not reach the Lathagrin checkpoint as planned. Pains me to say, but all the gil in the world can't buy loyalty. There are some like you who can be trusted, but then there are others. Until now, I've had no choice but to rely on that charlatan Severin, even though I'm full aware he's been doing shady deals behind my back. More than once I've heard him tell of improper trading with goblins. I wouldn't be the least surprised if that were happening right now. Not a bell ago, a sack of oranges vanished, as did Severin. I want you to go find and confront the bastard for me, Melkington. I'm sure there's wrongdoing afoot, so be sure to doubt anything that comes out of his mouth. Ooh. All right, all right. You're doing a bit of the old doubting there. Okay. I get behind that. We'll tinker with that just a bit. So that means we're going to go here. One of these has it. Okay. Oh, and we talk to the Chocobo Keep. Because this will be important later. Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a Chocobo porter? Ah, don't tell me this is your first visit to this stop. I shall update my register with your name so that you may access this location in the future. So, Chocobo porter is like your standard mount that will take you, not a mount, but a service that will take you to the next point automatically. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on. Ah, the goblins. Ah. Sacks of oranges and a sack of poop. Bloody hells, I'm up the strait without a paddle. All right, so we'll doubt him. What's this now? Stelrin sent you for the oranges? Huh? So the old bugger had known all this time. What does it matter anyway? Listen, you're one of those goody-goody adventure types, right? Go rescue me mates from those double-dealing goblins. They're just over yonder by the bonfire. All right. Big mossless Scooby. All right, we're not going to fuck with that guy. Let's give some aid here. I owe you one. Would have gotten away myself if not for Severin shoving me aside. He sounds like a real winner. Severin sent you, huh? The way you flew out of here, I was sure he'd sold us down the river. If you hadn't come, my dodo would have been cooked. Cooked dodo. That boy really needs to be fed. I'm just saying. So, here we go. Let's go back to this wonderful example of a fine, upstanding human being named Severin. You saved me mates, and for that, I owe you. Suppose I should be ashamed I couldn't clean up my own mess. But a pirate knows no shame. I have no qualms about going back on my word. I'm only giving you this sack 'cause I like the cut of your jib. Take it to Ossine and send him my regards. Grab this sack of oranges. I don't need to know about interacting. Ah, okay. We'll go up here. You know, I forget that vanilla or ARR does not have a ton of music in the world. Ah, there's Ossine. What have we here? A delivery from Summerford Farms, and it's scheduled. Ha! There's a first time for everything. I will hand you a sack. There you go. And look at that. Not a single one missing either. About the only things not here are the bagmen. And I don't miss them one bit. Here's Staleron's payment in full with you. I can trust it'll reach him. All right. Like, dude, you could see the farm from over here, like just standing out front there. What are you worried about? Is this really a big issue? Like, holy crap! Like when they leave, you can see the whole thing. I know. It's, I mean, not to point out the obvious, but I'm going to point out the obvious. And now we can just peacefully walk through all of this stuff. So this turn-in will get us just a little bit more XP. We've got a decent amount. So we've got our tanking stance. And we've got our basic attacks here. So we're kind of good. I believe... I'm not sure how much longer we have before we get into our first dungeon, to be honest. I don't remember. It's been a long time. But we'll be tanking when we go in. So let's talk here. Stalwart, back in one piece. That's a relief. How did you fare, Milkington? Here's your sack of money. Ah, this is what I was aiming for. Looks to be all as I was owed. All right. Although, I'd be telling you false if I claimed I'd not held out more hope for Severin. I was even willing to overlook the skimming off the top. But to sell us all short in favor of those godforsaken goblins? You do well to mind yourself around that two-guild cheat. If he'd leave his own mates for dead, there's no telling what he'd do to you. Alright. So we're going to take this Hempton Acton, which is a disciple of war. I'm going to read this. We're already close, and at this we will sort here. We'll go to character. Ah. Now we look semi-proper. Still don't have pants. And now we talk to Gurkant. Wristbands. All right. Low maintenance. Gherkin sinks fertile soil to improve his yields of his newly plowed fields. Blast! At this rate, the crops will never be ready for harvest. If only we'd black loam. Just a bit could send our stalks soaring. I bet Rotweeda knows where you might find some. Perhaps you might pay her a visit in the orchard. Yep. Sure will. Let's go find this person. You know, the bees look so much better now. Ah, Rotweeda. That gherkin's got a head of cabbage if he thinks I'm fetching him any black loam. But if you dare pinch for some, if you dare to pinch for some from the cookpot, then be my guest. Just mind you don't get trampled on by the aurochs that dwell there. Once you've 3 bushels worth, take the black loam to Preefwall at Tiller's Rest. He'll know what to do. Ah. We'll do a little sprinty sprint to get there a little bit faster. And we are already level 10. Once we finish some of these quests, we'll go back and do another job quest. You know, this is the part where I will say this game, one of the things I actually like about ARR is just how small the story starts off of. Now, as I've said, this is my second playthrough this, but I'm not talking about like recent playthrough. I haven't touched ARR proper since ARR was new, so 11 years ago, almost. Okay. But in the time since I've originally played till now, first of all, I could tell you the scenery and everything else is actually better. This looks so much better than it originally did. That's because of the graphical update that came with, really, I think, Dawn Trail. So that's nice. Ah, pre-wall. Pre-wall. Excuse me. Even the weeds wither and die in this desolate dirt. We'll hand this over to him. But a bit of this black loam ought to change all that. I haven't seen any in ages. Gathering black loam's not for the weak of will, nor the weak of stomach, eh? Oh, don't tell me. Gherkin and Rotweeda neglected to mention where black loam comes from. Surely you figured out on your own that from the cloying stench, it comes from the aurochs' lair of all places. Ahem. Well, why dwell on who misled whom about what? What matters is that your efforts brought us the black loam. and we can expect a bountiful harvest as a result. Thank you. All right, so we'll go ahead and take these leather wristbands. And once again, we'll hit C. Ah, but we're already wearing those. Okay, this is the ones that gets us our bronze Labrys. Okay, so we'll take this next one. Confounded pirates. They know nothing of tilling, only killing, stealing our shovels to melt and forge into axes of all things. They're biting the hands that feeds them. The mangy mongrels. I'd love to teach those curs a lesson in obedience myself. If I hadn't sworn to Stellan that I wouldn't fight no more. So I need you to bring back our farm tools. Jinxie! Hello, Jinxie. How are you? It's good to see you, my friend. How have you been? Give you a shout out. If you are not familiar with Jinxie, Jinxie is an amazing streamer. There's a lot of Minecraft, and also some Once Human. Also, very, very nice person. Nice. You couldn't be in a stream with better vibes than a Jinxie stream. I'm doing good. How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. Always good to see you. I am doing all right. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just chilling tonight. This week I got everything kind of like a little bit managed, so I've been working on streaming some more and getting out there, getting on here a little bit more, hitting that go live button a little bit more. So tonight we're just chilling in 14. I decided oh, sorry. Crap. So we are going to be at all right, we're back. Apologies about that. I have to keep ads running so that they don't I don't get pre-roll ads. So, but what we're doing this time is we are playing through uh, Final Fantasy 14 from A Realm Reborn. So, if you haven't played, it's good to see you, Jinxie. Like I said, if you do not know Jinxie, Jinxie is an amazing streamer here on Twitch. Does a little bit of a variety, does a lot of Minecraft, has been playing some Once Human, and is just an amazing person with wonderful vibes. So if you ever want a good stream to check out, please give Jinxie a follow and go enjoy somebody with a genuinely wonderful attitude, really nice person. I will say that. Yeah, so what we're doing today is we are, and I've been doing this since the other day, I think like Thursday night late, I did a test, because I haven't really set up like a lot of game streams in a long time, but I feel like replaying Final Fantasy 14, but instead of doing like a new game plus, I decided to roll an entirely new character on my data center, so just in case I wanted to give myself some like arms and armor later in the game, I could without having to go and spend a ton of gil. And I just wanted to kind of go back though and just play through the story and see the changes they made to all because they streamlined the early expansions a little bit. So I'm just like excited to kind of go back through and play through because I haven't played through these quests since this was a new content. I'm talking about like 2014, 2015. So yeah, I'm just getting back into this myself. So I haven't really touched this. So it's nice to go back and see how the story ramps up because I love the start of any big adventure, right? Where it's all starts out really small. I've only just taken I'm only in like my first 10 quests of starting the game entirely. So if you've never played 14 or if you have and you're in a little bit of nothing to worry about, we're in the very early stages. So and and I do plan on doing this at least once or twice a week. Just to kind of go through. I'm not going to touch anything on this character unless I'm streaming it. So this character will always be where we left off, and there will be VODs going up on my Milk VODs channel. So if you miss an episode or you want to catch up with where we were, you can always do so. That will be up on a YouTube channel, and I'm trying to leave the VODs. That's why I'm using game music instead of anything else. And if I do listen to music, it will be Final Fantasy 14 soundtracks, like that will go on. And yeah, but I've been having fun so far. I was actually looking forward to playing this all day. And truth be told, I'll probably stream it again tomorrow because, like, the only other game I've really been playing for the story is Wuthering Waves right now. And I've just finished all the story stuff in there. So there's no point in streaming it until, like, Tuesday when the new character drops. So, yeah. So right now, I've just been having fun with that. And unlike everybody else, yes, I have Hollow Knight, I have Silksong, but to play those right now is to basically guaranteed to be at the bottom of every list. Up. So this is an MMO, but this is more of a single player. And the nice thing about 14, not to be in the meme, but if you ever wanted to try out 14, like if you like the story, and it is a game that has been around for a decent amount of time. It is probably the second or third most popular MMO, first still being World of Warcraft. And you can play through the story for free up until I believe it's level 70 now. Yeah, you can play all of A Realm Reborn, all of A Realm Reborn, all of Heavensward, the first expansion, the award-winning expansion, Heavensward, and Stormblood. Too scared to play another MMO other than Guild Wars 2. Hey, listen, I love Guild Wars 2, and I'm excited about the new expansion that's coming out soon, too. I already pre-ordered my copy. See, 14 is like, forget what the thing. It is a single-player MMO wrapped up. It is a single-player story that is actually really good. I'm a few behind. I need to get back into it. You know, I screwed myself up in that game because you can play things out of order, and I started to, and now I'm pretty much going to go back and just pick up where I left off in the first campaign, and then just keep going back through. I actually may work that into the rotation. Do this one day, do Guild Wars 2 another day. Just to have some fun with things. Give a bit of variety. And while I love Once Human, right now I need a little bit of a break because it is a great game, but right now it is a little bit repetitive. And I'm also I've also been thinking lately, because again, the same thing with like Minecraft. I go through times where I'll play Minecraft quite a bit, and then I will. Yeah, I love Once Human though. It is really a lot of fun. But I've been thinking about doing something. I've been thinking about starting a Minecraft server and doing like a seasonal thing, like every 3 months. Um, so like set like monthly, set like a goal or an episodic goal for that, like a seasonal goal. Like okay, like once we're gonna go for going to the moon, or building a city and setting some goals, and then inviting a bunch of people to play, and then you know um, it would be like a whitelist server, but to play a bunch of things so that we could have a group that plays together. And I'm working on the idea for that right now. Because like I see a lot of Cobblemon out there, which is the Pokemon, and that's cool, but that Pokemon's not really my thing. Not that I have anything wrong with Pokemon. I just like the card game. I never really got into that. But I thought it would be cool just instead of just having like where people could build things and then like we could do competitions. Like here's a set of ground that we flattened, and you all go ahead and pick out a spot and build something cool. You have a week to do it, and then at the end of the week we divvy it up, and whoever gets it, like whoever wins gets like a pile of diamonds or something, some resources. And then yeah, and doing stuff like that, and then adding in different mods or add-ons each season. So one season might be like Race to the Moon, another season might be one of the other, like build build a castle, or build like the engineering, race, kind of things like that, because I think that keeps it fresh. And I think especially if you have a group of people that are like all up for doing the same kind of things, it's kind of always gives people something new, so they know they're not just, I don't want to do another season of X, or I'd love to play Minecraft, but I don't want to do like vanilla, or I don't want to do like the same server over and over again. Like that's kind of the thing that I get to, like with certain, like with action RPGs, because I'm a blaster sometimes in like Diablo or Path of Exile. That's why I like when they do like leagues and they change things up. Like I think something like that would work well in Minecraft, or even like I know a lot of people do stuff like that in Rust too, from back in the day when I used to play Rust. But like I kind of just prefer it in Minecraft. All right, so let's see. Now we've got this quest. Now we got to go back to Stalrin. So how's your day? How have you been, Jinxie? What you up to? Good to see you. Just been chilling. It's Sunday here. Yeah. That makes sense. It's just about to become Sunday here. Let's see. Pirates making off with our tools. Freewall did not take matters into his excuse me. I'm also using this as practice for like reading things out and stuff, because I tend to read too fast and then stumble over words when I try to read. Pirates making off with our tools. Freewall did well not to take matters into his own hands. Last thing I need is blood on my crops. But I'll be damned if Severin thinks he can take us for fools. His treachery won't go unpunished. All right, and we're going to take our upgrade. I've come to expect a great deal from you, lass. And you've never once let me down. Yet what I'd ask of you now goes beyond what I've asked beyond aught I've asked before. Would you hear my plea all the same? Yes. Starren has reason to believe that Severin is up to no good. Something must be done. Okay. This is going to be, it eases my mind to have your ear. You're no doubt familiar with what that scoundrel Severin is up to by now. Well, the scheming scapegrace is at it again. Since the letter came from him, he's been skulking about in that manner he does when he's up to no good. Now he's rounded up his rogues and buggered off, with nary a word to anyone. I've grown accustomed to his insolence, but something tells me this is different. It ain't exactly damning, but the last words I had with him, he didn't look defiant as so much as hunted. I can't help thinking he's gone looking for trouble and found more than he wanted. I was hoping you might hunt his sorry hide down and drag him back here before it's too late. Suffice it to say, I'd rather he didn't come to a sticky end. As for how to find him, I'd say asking Grinweda at the Aetherite. She was the last one to see him. I dare say she'll be able to tell you where he was headed. All right. Take this quest. This man is very tall. Okay, first of all, let's see if that actually was an upgrade. It was. Okay. So most of these larger, taller people are basically, it seems like most of their names are based off of at least the loose interpretation of Welsh from what I can see from the spelling. Or at least draw inspiration from there. Ah, Grinweda. Nothing that passes through these gates escapes my notice. I saw the rouser and his rabble set out for Woad Whisper Canyon not long ago, singing about drinking themselves stupider. Cheeky Sod said I should join them. I told them I'd rather shrivel up than sit whatever it was that had pickled their brains. If you find the idle swine, be sure to give them a cuff round the ear for me, will ya? Sure thing. That will definitely happen. Okay, now I think... So they just did a high res update for this. So prior to this was grass was all like just a flat like painting on this, and now we've got like grass, which is kind of nice. And all these uniforms here used to be much lower res. So like if you zoomed in like this, you would see some of the polygons, and it would look very rough. Same thing with the characters' hairs, eyes, and everything. It's not polygons, but not pixelated either. But they would just be a lot less refined than they are now. So everything looks a lot better with the most recent expansion. Yeah. And some of this is thanks to Final Fantasy XVI being done by the same dev team. So they brought over some of the graphic updates to this engine. So we've got better lighting, better models. Now, right now, the music isn't like the best, I would say the best example of what we have in game. There is some really absolutely breathtaking music. And so I've been playing Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy came out because I'm old. And when Final Fantasy 1 came out, one of the things I always was amazed with back in the old days of the NES was the music. And boss battles always had a flair for music. Well, 14 remembers its origins. And some of the boss battles, especially in the more recent expansions, are just like it comes on and you know you're in for like an epic battle with like full-on like orchestral music and everything coming out, and you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome, and it's a spectacle. I will say that this game is more of a spectacle game. I believe it was an amusement park game that somebody once classified this style of MMO Whereas World of Warcraft is basically like it's engagement, engagement, engagement. The story's kind of meh. This is the opposite. The story is everything. The gear is kind of meh, but it looks good. And at the end of the real end game is like housing and fashion. That's Final Fantasy 14 for you. Now, just FYI, Guild Wars 2's housing system is actually better. And I know that when WoW's housing system comes out in the next expansion, it's also going to be yet another improvement on MMO housing. So I'm excited to see how these, because all three of them have been around a very long time. You know, these are, we're not playing in like young MMO that still has a chance to die. We're talking about like the big four right now are like WoW, 14, Guild Wars 2, and ESO. So yeah. Now, I haven't really even in I know that it's there. I know I'm up to like a part where I can check it out. But I really have to get my act together in Guild Wars 2, which is kind of like one of the things like I'm liking doing. And the nice thing about Guild Wars 2 is I really like the stories in Guild Wars 2 and the characters. So I'm excited to kind of like go back to and kind of pick up before a little bit before the new Xbox comes out, and I'd like to just add the Xbox to it. I know I can always play through them at a later date because it's one and done as far as Guild Wars 2, which I love, but man. All right, Almer, what's going on? Of all the dirty, deceitful, downright dastardly deeds that slippery bastard's done, sometimes I'm good. Claiming to take the lads out for a drink only to lead us straight into a bloody trap. It don't get lower than that, I tell you. Of course, I've learned my way. I've learned to stay a step ahead of old Severin, so I was ready. But the others weren't so lucky. You've got to help them. All right, right. Hang on. I will. Oh yeah, the story in Guild Wars 2. Look, the story in Guild Wars 2, I like, and I like that like each kind of expansion builds on what happened last, and you've got characters that now have relationships with the characters and things. So I did notice that about like my skipping around. Let's aid this guy and read his dialogue. My axe may have well been a white flag for all the good it did. Hope you fare better. Those sorry bastards are done for. Or those sorry bastards are done for. All right. Hang in. We'll help our little Lalafell friend here. Severin might have got us into this mess, but I ain't about to let him give his life for us. I'd sooner bow to a fishback than be in that conniving bastard's debt. To arms! All right, sync to level 13. We're at a level 11, so this is going to be a little bit exciting. Now, this is like what I say is like when they rebuilt this. All right, here we go. Tattooed man, a true knave. You betray even yourself, Severin. We were supposed to overlook the matter of your desertion on the condition that you provided us with suitable replacements. That was the agreement. Yet your latest change of heart leaves your debt to us unpaid. Few are they who'd betray us, the serpent reavers, twice. You will not do so a third time. And I'm here to kick your ass, big man with the blue face. Carrying behind your protector will only delay the inevitable. Honorless wretch, your life is all you have left. And worthless though it be, we shall take it. Oh, mournful voice of creation, grant ye this humble stone. Hold on. O mournful voice of creation, grant ye this humble stone a soul, that it may wake to life. Oh boy, here we go. his shield on. And I do like that little bit of mysterious cloaked stranger back there. That the golem could be vanquished. That woman is no ordinary adventurer. The snake slithered away. I am only glad he did not have the chance to sink his fangs more deeply into you. Those pirates do not belong to any of the known Laminzan factions. Whom do they serve? The Beast Tribes? Surely not. But the timing of their appearance coincides all too neatly with the recent surge in Sahagin and Kobold activity. Something is afoot. The question is, what? Could it be that the tribes are planning to summon their primals? 12, help us if it should prove so. Limsa would be hard-pressed to keep a single primal at bay, let alone two. But all is yet speculation. I must needs find evidence. The seas continue to rise. While the lesser moon continues to fall. And ilm by ilm, the world becomes ever more unlike itself. It is as Louisoix foretold. The coming of chaos has rendered the laws of nature mutable, blurring the boundary between the material and ethereal planes. Little now stands between us and the primals. But they are not here yet. The time be against us, hope shall ever be on our side. Never did the creed of Charlemagne ring more true. Never did I dream that I would possess the means to see either. Yet now that I do begin to take it for granted. How swiftly do the wonders of Charlemagne seem commonplace. Here, for you. Have you come for the festivities? Today, the maelstrom officially makes the great hole in the sea, makes that great hole in the sea its training ground. Join in the celebrations. What a disturbance in the etheric flow. But whence... Wait, a disturbance in the etheric flow. But whence does it emanate? Tisong Grotto, perhaps? Now, Again, as I've said in the past, I have already, like, I'm already up to retail in this. I'm replaying this just because I haven't seen, I don't remember all the, like, ways the plot originally started. I started in a different area when I started. This is interesting because I never saw this part of the story before. What have we here? Can you walk? "'Tis I. Regrettably, no. He eluded me. Understood. I will inform the Commodore." "You collapsed from your exertions. Are you suitably recovered?" "Severin here has apprised me of all that transpired. His account sheds some light upon how you came to be attacked by a golem of all things. The golem is a mindless automaton, inert save when commanded to be otherwise. Common pirates could not hope to control such a thing, so arcane are at its workings. But when these tattooed wretches are no commonplace pirates. They are the minions of the Sahagin. As to their purpose, well, I shall get to the bottom of it. But first I must escort Severin back to his place of employment. I dare say Stalrin will be wondering what has become of him. And you too, for that matter. I will bear word of him, of your preservation, but I am certain he would like to thank you in person. Pray, pay the man a visit." I do like the fact that in later expansions, all of this formal talk went away. "He told me of you, but perchance he did not tell you of me. My name is Y'shtola. I am a naturalist of sorts, surveying the ether in the hope that it might offer some clue as to our predicament. Excuse me. I'd say I owed my life, but that don't cover it. If it weren't for you, my friends would be dead and all. 'Tis a debt I can never repay. But I'll not make things worse by running away. Take me to Summerford Farms, and I'll face the consequences." "For reasons I cannot fathom." I'll go back and read that again. "Until our paths next cross, farewell." Okay, water sprites. So, to give a little bit of context for what we witnessed in that CPA-toned cutscene, that was from before A Realm Reborn. So, Final Fantasy XIV actually released as just Final Fantasy XIV, the base game, which was rough to say the best. It was flawed. It was the original. So a lot of people think of No Man's Sky as a game that released in terrible shape and then through a bunch of, like, obviously that's probably the most extreme version, but yes, through the good graces and good hard work of its development team, were able to turn that game around into being like an unbelievably amazing game if you like space exploration. Now, Final Fantasy XIV is the one that started out as an utter failure, and it wasn't a terribly well received game at launch. In fact, it was a dismal failure. And rather than abandoning the game, they brought in a whole new team under the leadership of Yoshi P. We'll just go with Yoshi P. That's how everybody knows him. And they turned it around. And they did so by literally destroying the world and creating an epic, and thereby creating an epic storyline that lasted 10 years. So what you get is in that flashback is just prior to the cataclysm that ended the original the original game, and ended up turning it into the epic narrative story that we have now. Then we'll go here and turn this in. Stellarin. Ha! I knew you'd return. Y'shtola delivered Severin a bit ago. Tales of your heroic deeds precede you. The rest came shuffling back too, the lot of them sporting the same haunted expression. It's me who's to blame for that and the rest. I was once a serpent reaver, a thrall to the Sahagan, 7 hells. Reavers may look and sound and act like pirates, but they're naught but fishbacks flunkies. Us pirates ain't much for laws, but there's things we won't do. We've got a code, see, but the Reavers, they've never followed a word of it. A few years back, they started snatching law-abiding Laminsans. I'd only just taken my oath when our captain bent the knee to his new Sahagan masters. I knew I had to get away. So I crept off one night, got myself a new name, and found myself a new home. Summerford Farms. Trouble is, secrets don't stay secret for long. Ran here, and word soon spread. All the way back to the sea. Penalty for his desertion is death, but the Reavers offered me a way out. Instead, my freedom in exchange for my mates. The letter. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't bloody thinking. Too busy soiling myself. Aye. But you got there in the end, didn't you? And when the time came, you made the right decision. The men say little to me, but I hear them talk of how you stood up to the Reavers at the last, of how you tried to give your life to save theirs. Be that as it may, no deed, however good, can atone for the crime of betraying your brethren. I know that. I do. That's why I'm going to hand myself over to the Yellow Jackets. I'll bring shame to the farm no more. You'll hear no arguments from me. Each man must sail according to his own moral compass. I just hope that yours guides you back here someday. There will always be a place for you at Summerford Farms, lad. And I'll always be in your debt, Stellarin. You know, when all things said, I'm actually glad I'm replaying this, because that was a quest line I never did. And that character does come back. I owe you a debt too, Sherilyn. Not once have you let me down. Thank you for saving the men of my farm. If I could ask you one more favor, it'd be this. Tell Badaron what's happened from start to finish, and I'm certain he'll put a good word in a good word for Severin if he knew the whole story. And he's one of the few people of whom I know the Yellow Jackets will listen to. Well, I reckon I've asked all I can possibly ask of you. Safe travels, lass. One of the things I really love about a good story is when they do have good characters. Now, if you were just starting out and you had no other knowledge of Final Fantasy XIV, that storyline in of itself, if you took the time to read the quests and to read what was going on, is a pretty small, it's a pretty decent sized quest chain. You get about like 12, 14 quests total. But it gives you a good idea for where the storytelling's going. None of these characters may seem important, but you never know when a character is going to come back and play a major role in a story or play a more important role later on. That's one of the things I like about this. It tells the stories in little spots at first. And then, like I said, things always ramp up in any MMO, and every MMO. So, I'm happy to be replaying this. I'm happy to see, and I'm actually excited to get little gear upgrades for the first time. That don't take me like 18 hours to craft or require me to run raids every week. So now we'll go back to our friend here. We'll go back to the city proper. All right. So Limsa is a busy hub city, and all of there are 3 main cities that are all pretty busy. As you can see, there's a lot of people here with a lot of fashion, and like I said, fashion is the end game here. You'll see a lot of really fancy stuff, a lot of people wearing really fancy clothing and such. So we will go up to the Ave Castle. Then we'll go back to the inn here. And here's our man Batteron. Bloody hells, life on a farm ain't quite how I pictured it. But you needn't worry yourself over young Severin. The Yellow Jackets and hands out. The Yellow Jacket as hands out the punishments is a good old mate of mine. If I ask him nice, I reckon he'd be willing to commute the lad's sentence from hanging and knee-hauling from hanging to knee-hauling. The kindly gent that he is, like I said. I'm only jesting with you. I'll see he's treated fair. Now, it sounds to me like you've done everything old stellar and nasty, and that and more justifying me generous finder's fee in the process. Much obliged, last. As for your reward, well, she's a lovely lady, this drowning wench of mine. How'd you fancy keeping her company for a spell with free room and board? Venturing's a trying business, after all. Them as don't rest their bones every now and again tend to end up with broken ones. And take it from me, fighting ain't nearly so much fun when you're nursing a shattered arm. Got that? Good. There'll always be a free bed for you to take, so make use of it. Inn rooms now available. Not that you don't have much time for laying around. Hey, Nathan, how are you? Good to see you. Well, with all the leaves you'll be doing, and didn't I mention putting your name down for leaves? Leaves are little, like, things that you can do to earn XP and early on some nice rewards. Giving Toka Maria a shout whenever I feel like making a few extra guilds. She'll always have some tasks to offer for you to do. Oh, and it's all above board, in case you're wondering. We're careful to stay on the Admiral's right side around here. Unlike some pirates I could mention, I tell you. If it turns out they'd ought to do them kidnappings, there'll be 7 hells to pay. Proper bleeding reckoning. Mayhap that's what Limsa needs, though. On rough seas, sometimes you have to rock the boat to right it. But we'll have time for such talk when you're well and rested. Till then, enjoy the wench's hospitality. We'll complete that. And that's the thing about playing Amico. You get a thing like that at the end. You now have access to recommendations. This feature displays a list of quests and duties currently available in your area. The recommendations list, well, yeah, whatever. I know about that. It's nothing that we need to read. I've played through this. And now we're level 12. Nice name, Calm Kitten. Batteron, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench, has a suggestion to put You on the road towards new adventures. Finally, pants. Thank God. It's been breezy here. How do you fare, Sherilyn? Rested and ready to expand your horizons? Well, then I have an idea where you might be heading next. Have you heard of the Skylift out in Middle Lanosia? Have you ever visited Woad Whisper Canyon? Then you must have been up and down the thing at least once. It's a big bleeding scaffolding attached to the descent. You've likely seen the lads and lasses out there using it all cargo up the cliff. Hard labor, that, and I hear they could use an enterprising soul to pick up odd jobs what no other bugger has time to deal with. Track him down the head of the operation, a bloke by the name of Workrit, and he'll be sure to put you to work on a task or two. How you doing, Nathan? It's good to see you, my friend, as always. So now that we've got this, let's see if there's what do we have? The nope, no esthetician yet. But I will take use of the inn. Going, still healing? How are you? What's going, still healing? How are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. So this is the glamour dresser. Wait, did it say I can? I've not yet unlocked the glamour dresser. Sure. We haven't really got anything to put in there yet. Okay. I'm hanging in there, hanging in there. How long been out for? All right. All right. So Nathan, I have to ask a question because it has been a while. Still healing. I'm glad to hear that. What happened? I want to catch up for a minute here. Glad to hear it amidst the chaos of the world. Yeah, I know. I love... Oh, by the way, if you're a streamer, okay, and you haven't heard of Seribot, Seribot is an amazing tool that you can just add to your stream. It blocks hate raids. It automatically bans anybody that would come in and spam, like, anything like that. If you want the long version, I can copy paste it in Discord later, or the short version now. I will go with, you know what, paste it in Discord for me later, in case, I don't want to discuss your personal health problems, like, out in the open, but I would really enjoy if you would I would really appreciate you just telling me, but I'm glad that you're healing. That's the most important thing. So it's good to, but yeah, if you want to tell me that in Discord, that's fine. It's all good. My main thing, and I'm sure you can appreciate this, is I don't, like, I may ask you a question, but if something's personal, or, you can always DM me in Discord, and we can chat about it there. That's fine too. I'm just glad you're okay. That's the most important thing. Well, I'm glad you're healing. Let's put it that way. I will give you just a brief health update. I have a immune issue with my liver. It's being treated, or will be treated, starting Monday. And then I have to have my gallbladder taken out, but I have to get the liver thing under control, which should be okay in about a month or so, and then I can get my gallbladder taken out, because that thing's just a the most disorderly, disgruntled organ I've ever had in my body, and the two of us have to get a divorce. That's it. There's no couples therapy didn't work, and now we're parting ways. So, been healing since April. I made progress now going backwards. Yeah, I remember talking about that the last. Okay, all right. Oh, going backwards no good. My friend, you know I always send you the best. Well, this is if you're friends, which most of you in here have been around for a while, or at least I've gotten to know a little bit. If you're friends, you know I always truly wish you the best, and not just saying that because we're in stream and I'm trying to be polite or anything. I really hope everybody is doing okay out there. It's rough. The world kind of crazy right now, but forgetting that, I know exactly how bad it is when you get injured and things can go one way or another. Dad, I think the last time I told you, Dad needed to have a heart procedure, minor. He got that done. He's doing okay. It's called an ablation, and it's to permanently correct atrial fibrillation. So he's good. He's got a good bill of health on that. But he did have a meniscus tear fixed, and that is kind of just a little bit too stiff on him now after it's been fixed. So we got an update, a minor visit with the surgeon just to reevaluate it and see if he needs a gel shot in his knee to kind of address some arthritis issues. As for me, like I said, I'm arguing with my gallbladder, and right now my liver's kind of like the child caught in the middle of a divorce that's kind of like getting beat up on by my immune system. But we'll get those things all fixed. I would like to say I'll be right as rain, but I'm no longer a young buck like I was in my 20s. I get up in the morning and snap, crackle, pop is just the way my body sounds. No longer the breakfast cereal that I enjoyed so much. Great to hear. At least he's having progress across the board. Hope they can help. Yeah, that's a nasty combo. I know. It's just one thing after another. But such is life. And as long as it ain't life-threatening, I'm good to go. So, yes, we're doing what I usually do, and that's called jumping around in the game. Did it in WoW. I'll do it here. I've been doing it here. And I'm sure I've also done it in Guild Wars 2. I've been dealing with these issues for 3 years. Oh, yeah. Since 22 years old. Memories with the healthy 20s. Look, I will say this. My hope for you is that it's something that you deal with now so that you don't have to deal with it later. Jumpies. Actually, always. Oh, Jinxie, I gotta show you the coolest part of this game. While we're here, I'm gonna log out for a moment. So, the reason I initially fell in love with this game is for the opening scene. Now, WoW always had some good ones, and this is loud, but that's fine. It'll pass. This is what made me originally fall in love with this game. This is what Y'shtola was talking about in that scene about the second moon coming down. Right? Definitely that kind of vibe. That's Yoshi P. So that was not only the opening cinematic for A Realm Reborn, but that was so 1.0, the original game, Final Fantasy XIV Online. In order to bring down the servers, they made an in-game event where that meteor that came down was there. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're back. So that cinematic at the end of the original the 1.0 Final Fantasy 14, before they turned the servers off, for weeks before that, you saw that ominous like moon in the sky, that angry red moon, and you kept hearing like hints of that music, that song that just played. Well, on the night that they turned off the servers for 14 and reset it for Realm Reborn, they played that cinematic, and that ended. That was what they called the seventh umbral calamity, which was like the end of the world. After that, like everybody everybody that survived that attack couldn't really remember what happened aside from this big devastating thing, but they had no memories from like before that. That's important later, but that's how they chose to end the world and make Final Fantasy get better. So what about this? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, people have been playing through this for years, and the story of the game is good, is really good. Now, even though the new game, because I have to remember, for 10 years since that happened, between that starting of A Realm Reborn and Endwalker, there were Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Endwalker that all expanded on that story in bits and pieces over the 10 years. So when we got to Endwalker and Shadowbringers, the payouts that were laid down even in 1.0 in story and preparation and little bits that we're seeing here is just so satisfying. So for many of us, many people, like you might have heard people saying, well, Dawn Trail wasn't so good, everything, because now we're past that story, that main arc, and you're back to kind of just a small story, which it's been so long. And you come back off of the end of an epic ending, which I won't say anything about, to where we are now, and it's to like coming back to being kind of just a regular old adventurer. It's a bit of a culture shock, so that's why I think it took the game where people played before the reset time. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Now, I haven't been playing for 1.0, but there are people that play this game that do have that. People that I'm friends with that were playing way back in the day, and they have the tattoo on the back of their neck that shows that they were here from then. So one of the greatest, like I said, so the thing about 14 is that makes it different from Guild Wars or World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls Online is that the story has been adjusted so that you can play through the whole story on your own without having to like go into like have friends or anything. Now you can, of course, always do that, but you can play through the entirety of the story because as it stands, the story is unbelievable. Up through Endwalker, because now there's a new story, so it's just getting started. But up through Endwalker is just what I will tell you is the only game that made me openly like ugly cry in all the years I've been playing games. And I've been playing games since the Atari 2600, so I'm old. So yeah, no, this is the only story that like made me like just ugly fucking cry at times. And yeah, it's good. So when you see things like that, they put it in. And remember that cinematic was probably on par about the same time that Cataclysm came out for World of Warcraft. So yeah, I could see at the time, and I remember being a long-time WoW player. Remember, I played some of you may not know this, but I played WoW from 2004 up to 2019. So I played for 15 years in WoW. Even though I kind of like was only casually playing towards the last like 3 years. Prior to that, I was a hardcore raider. And in WoW standards, back when I was in my 20s, that did mean like close to 20 hours a week of raiding at the time. So yeah, no, it was different. This is much more my speed now. Like let me put it this way, like I can get in here, play this, and feel good about like like I can still grind. Like back in the day, I remember an expansion used to release for WoW, right? And I'd be sitting there, and I'd be like, all right, 24 hours later, I'd be done. Oh, cool, yeah. I was short about that and thought it was a cool concept. Unlike Destiny, where you get the full story, you need YouTube and friends, because raid lore. Yeah, no, I know. You need My Name is Bife for Destiny, and like, or oh, I'm forgetting his name, and I usually don't. The other lore guy that did it with Bife, but they both made videos together, or not together, but made videos about lore. But then like, yeah, and what kills me about Destiny is Destiny could have been so much better than it is. I'm just let down, not by the developers, but by the fucking management at Bungie. But that's a different rant for a different time. Now we're on the quest to get pants. It's like I've got all this gear and it looks like I'm walking around like yeah, no. And I'll be honest, yeah, of course, the gear looks so much better. And I might be waxing nostalgic. I realize that. I know that. Let's see. Lower Ninosia. All right, it's over here. So we'll go to the middle of Lenosia Gate. Mylan Games, that's right. That's the other lore, major lore guy. Dude, all I'm going to say right now is, what a yeah, I know. I think one of the things I will say I personally used to like about Destiny is the fact that there were back in the day, like honestly, the Final Shape campaign I really enjoyed. I loved the Final Shape campaign. That actually there were moments in there, like I will say there was that cinematic in there where you're everybody's coming through as you're going to face off against the Witness. And there's that major, like everybody's there, all the allies that we've made show up, and you get that like Avengers Endgame moment, like on your left. Man, that was awesome. But Like after that, the end game campaign finished, the raid finished, and then it was like I just felt like it was just more of the same afterwards, and I haven't gone back. All right, we're gonna. I think I got my experience points for my hunt. I do these just to kind of get a little bit of an uptick on. There's a skill I haven't used in forever. We've got time for this? Yeah, we've got time. We have 4 minutes. I could murder a bunch of these in 4 minutes. So we're just doing a public event here, what we call a... These things actually are useful because they give you... To me, it was corny. It would have been happening as you played and not inter-cinematic. That would have been way cooler. Like, imagine if someone gets the witness and then boom, with each phase, new groups arise. Instead, it's preamble. A struggle happened during the raid and everyone is... Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's that. It's there. Look, you know, to me, it was, you know, it is a looter shooter after all, and like much like with Diablo or any of them, I don't expect like the greatest story ever told in a game where, you know, every week you're farming for better rolls on like a gun or like a piece of armor, but and that's your primary focus. But it was the only space, like, sci-fi kind of story that had raids and that was doing what it was doing, and they really fucked it up. To the point of which I actually recently went back to the Division 2 and was hanging out in there, and they keep writing more story and adding more things to that game too. And the Division 2 is just, you know, it works. And they have a decent sized fan base, and they haven't like fucked it up. So I'm all for that. But yeah, like no, this is the game that taught me, like showed me like what you could do. But they also make mistakes. Like this expansion and the last expansion had, like, you'll get a patch, you'll have a couple of weeks of like cool stuff to do, and then it's more hurry up and wait. But they always said like go play other games in the meantime, and that's fine, and that's all fair and good. But I always like, there's always that issue, like if you tell too many people over and over to go play another game while you wait, sometimes people are going to go out and be like, let's try World of Warcraft, and then realize that World of Warcraft has a much better content cadence than 14 does, which is the only downfall of this game. That's why I said, like, play it for the story. And the good news is, like I said, it's like, oh, well, you could play for, like, up to Shadowbringers for free. So that's, you know, you get 70 levels out of this for free, and you get into the story, then it's up to you if you want to continue the story and then just wait for a sale. I am taking my pants, please, sir. Thank you. I know I skipped over that, but this is just a guy telling me what work. What did he say? Yeah, that's what he said. So, Worklit, the Skylift operator needs you to recover a cargo load abandoned by a terrified wagon driver and deliver it to its intended recipients. Glad I am to see you again, lass. The wagon driver just returned with a great bloody hurry, screaming about some monstrosity that sprang out from a million corn seedling and his cargo. Seems the gutless bastard tossed it over the side before turning the tail and running for his life. Oh yeah, Division 2 is killing it. I really think the criticism they received about the Year 1 and 2 content and the criticism from Breakpoint is what they really... Yeah, they did. They did a good job turning it around. Division 2 is great. I will tell you that Once Human, and I'm sure if, you know, Jinxie can also attest this, Once Human, Another fantastic game. It does go more along the seasonal model that Diablo goes to. So it's like you get like a 6-week season, a little bit faster. You play through that, and then you go on to another season where you can stay in and keep playing the season that you were playing in, depending upon what you want to do. It's a really fun game. Warframe is Warframe. It's been there for years. If you haven't played in years and you put it down, yes, it can be confusing to jump into, but they have done a lot to improve the game over the years, and that's good. I'm really looking forward to Soulframe when that comes out eventually, and I believe sometime this year. The first Descendant is Warframe Lite. I like it. It is great for free to play. It's great if you like a little bit of goon with your looter shooter. You know what I mean. Wink, wink. They've got hot characters, both male and female, and they put them in swimsuits half the damn time. It's designed for the Goddess of Victory Nikkei crowd, but it's good. But the Division 2, I think, is really kind of where... Well, now that we have Borderlands 4 out, and I know with technical difficulties aside that people have on PC, I've been watching mods, Dat Mods and Moxie play it, and they've both been having a blast. So, yeah, eventually I'll probably just play Borderlands 4 to get my looter shooter fix in. And then space that out between that and Division 2, because I know they just have another, like, expansion or big update coming out, and it's great. So I'm looking forward to that. So, continuing on. The gutless bastard tossed it all aside before turning a tail and running for his life. I need you to head down the road, recover the seedling, and deliver it to Lyle over at Swift Perch in Western Lenosia. You got it, buddy. I could do that for you. I'm not going to read all of your dialogue because damn if that isn't some difficult, like, decorative English if I've ever had to try to struggle to read through things. Oh, and you'll also find an Etherite and Swift Perch, so the journey should be worth your while. Okay, sounds good. Let's go. And along the way, we'll go kill some stuff for our hunt log. Like doing all the stuff I should have done when I originally played through it to make the leveling process easier. All right, rocking on level 13, and I'm going the wrong way, but that's fine. You can always tell how well a game is doing by the amount of people that are kind of like you run into in the world. One of the things I like about The Division is I will still run into people in there. My opinion of the company and Randy are why I refuse to buy the game. Besides, I'm more into anime right now. I mean, my first manga being my favorite anime, AOT. Okay. Okay. Understandable. Actually, one of the games I am looking forward to is the anime Warframe that is coming out soon, because they just announced that while it was originally a gacha, they have taken all the gacha out of it, and everything you can now earn in-game. The only thing that they're putting in is cosmetics. They're actually following more of the Digital Extremes way of doing things. And I'm excited about that because that is going to be an amazing amount. That looks like it's going to be something that I'm really going to get into because I too am more of a fan of the anime aesthetic. That is why I like Wuthering Waves as much as I do, and that story is also well written. Ah, there's that millicorn seedling, million corn seedling. And a wild jackal. Get axed, bitch. That is a game changer, to be honest. If that game succeeds, and I think it will, because a lot of people are looking forward to it, and the betas that people have played had really took it to heart. If that's the way it's going to be, that might become a mainstay game for me. Swift perch. Where am I going? Oh, going the right direction. Keep heading this way. Yeah. Mapping the realm, Western Lenosha. Cool, we got that. Cool thing is, all these little achievement points you'll see, they actually earn some good, hold on, let's give ourselves a little bit of an advantage here. You can actually turn in your achievement points and get like cool cosmetic rewards and stuff in the game. So that's actually always cool. And when I get to housing at level 50, might be before that. This will be a good XP mob if we kill it. This might drop a little bit more stuff worthwhile. Actually using my MMO mouse button features here. For once. Terrible habit of clicking an MMO. But when I started playing years ago, that was one of my biggest problems. But now I find I can enjoy the battles a lot better just by just using the MMO mouse like it's supposed to be used. And now that they got rid of a lot of the button bloat, yeah, MMO mouse is just, it is my favorite thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I still use controller for things like fighting games, platformers, Souls-likes, because I don't feel like getting arthritis in my hands, and old school arcade like shoot 'em ups like Gradius and things like that. Which occasionally I do love to come on here and play me some fighting games, some racing games and things like that. And there's no substitute for a controller. Just like with some flight sim games, I have a flight stick for that too, because I believe in having all the proper equipment to make my gaming as enjoyable as possible. Cool, we did that. That I'm impressed with. Because decent amount of experience for that. That was let's see, 600. That was a lot of experience. That was almost like 2,000. Come to think of it, when everything there. All right, now we're going to talk to the Chocobo Keep. Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a Chocobo portal? Do not tell me this is your first visit to this stop. I shall update my register with your name so that you may access this location in the future. No, that's okay. But I'll certainly agree to that. Now we'll go ahead and attune to the Setharay. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. And we'll go talk to Liluf. Hi, has Nemea herself forsaken this desolate land? Though I understood there were risks in gambling my entire fortune on a crop of million corn, I at least expected the seedling to be delivered before disaster struck. Here's the seedling. Is that my million corn seedling? Oh, joyous day. It may seem a paltry beginning, but the yield of this particular variety of crop plant is nothing short of astonishing. As you have undoubtedly noticed, Swiftpatch lacks a certain, shall we say, vital energy? Thus, I mean to restore a modicum of hope to its residents by growing a veritable ocean of corn. You, madam, seem fit to burst with vim and vigor. Might I persuade you to abide a while and help nurture this ailing settlement? Yeah, listen, let me get my upgrade jacket, and sure, then we can talk. Ah, that's right. We have pants, and oh, see, now we're starting to look a little bit more like a proper warrior. That's that now. Yeah, this is very medieval looking at the beginning. Rayloaf. Oh, we got a helmet too. Never do your homework without your helmet. If you know what that's from, we're friends. Rayloaf. Hold on. Greyloaf, a yellow jacket on guard duty in Swift Perch, wants you to visit the Brewer's Beacon and investigate the reason behind the waning light. You there, adventurer, cast your eyes towards Brewer's Beacon. Does the light not seem uncommonly weak? It cannot possibly be bright enough to guide the ship sailing in the bay. I would march over to the lighthouse and investigate myself, but I am duty-bound to remain at my post. I would consider it a favor if you could visit the Brewer's Beacon and see if aught has befallen Kanswis, the lighthouse keeper. You got it, buddy. You offered me a helmet, and I'm just easily enough swayed by material possessions to go take you up on your offer. And it is but a short jaunt across these sprightly fields. I don't know where that came from, but I might have to get myself checked out later. I think I've been speaking this flowery language a little bit too much. Yeah, I'm good. Having a little bit of fun here. Look, for all these, like, this is a very, I would just like to say, this may be like a little bit of a rough, but they certainly, a rough, like, looking region, but they certainly have good lampposts. I tell you, their power companies are certain. Buzzard, you're coming over here. You get smacked. I warned you. Axe to the face, or beak, as it were. This is happening. You have messed with the wrong cat girl, and now you paid for it. Gonna have to take another one of you out, I see. Fair enough. You say Yellow Jacket sent you here? Eh? Your light's grown dim, has it? Well, of course it bloody has. The bomb that fuels my furnace is up and buggered off, you see. If I don't get that beacon fixed up soon, there'll be trouble on the water. I know you're just a messenger, lass, but I can tell you an adventurer when I see one. I'm going to need you to chase down that bomb and bring back a claw that you ripped from its smoldering corpse. Take this here iron brazier and set her down in the middle of the flock somewhere near the scarecrow. I have to go. I hope you have a great rest of stream. Thank you, Jinxie. Once again, I'm going to give you a shout out before you go. Jinxie is a friend of the channel, also a wonderful streamer here on Twitch for a little bit of variety. Plays a little bit of Once Human, also Minecraft. Go check her out. Great vibes. Really great building. I love the buildings that the stuff she's built in Minecraft. So definitely give her a check out, give her a follow, go say hello. As always, it's great to see you, Jinxie. See you soon. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. All right, we've got all our stuff. We're going to go and go see about this scarecrow. Ah, there it is. Man, I almost misread that as fart dodo. That would not have, that is certainly not the right name for that. Although it looks like it's pretty farty. Go ahead and plant this down. I will interact with the brazier. Brazier. No, I think it's brazier. There's that little bastard. Come here. Now we go back. Now this is an unfortunate. Remember, this is the 10-year-old portion of this game, or 11-year-old portion of this game. So it's a lot of this is like, go here, kill this, go there, fetch this, bring it back. This is when your character, I like to refer to this portion of the A Realm Reborn experience as your character gets in the shape that an adventurer needs to be in order to not die or keel over from exhaustion every 2 seconds. All right. So the post-defeat training arc? Yes. All you need to do is take down that runway bomb and bring me one of its little claws. Here it is. Ah, you got the ass, you little bastard, did you? Once I put this little firecracker in the furnace, that should keep things running for a while. I had myself a bit of a look while he was gone, and Lemalin cursed me if the furnace weren't all bent and broken. Small wonder the bloody bomb was able to escape. Patched things up as best I could, but I ain't no smithy. You might want to have a chat with the yellow jacket friend of yours in Swift Perch and have him pass the word back to someone in Limsa. All right. We'll take a little bit of a fast run back there. No, get away from me. I don't want to fight you. Go away. All right, we'll go back to Freylof, as it were. The furnace is damaged, is it? Very well. I shall write up the relevant reports, but these repairs must needs be effected without delay. It seems I have another favor to ask you, adventurer. Take yourself straight away to the Armorers Guild in Limsa and explain the situation to Forge Master. That name. Sorry, that's... And this we do this way. Because I am running all the way back to Limsa. That's like 10 minutes of running. Right, so we got to go up top. Second level. Never been watching Nemesis. The only one I really got into was Star Wars The Old Republic. The Old Republic was good. That also had a really good story. Get if this guy's... Yeah, this guy's outside. The furnace and the brewer's beacon need repairs. Beauregard's beard. I just sent someone out to tinker with it not a week past. Half the bomb Ken had trapped in there was a touch too volatile. I'll have an artisan visit the lighthouse and pay special attention to reinforcing the casing in on that furnace. Your work here is done, adventurer. May the navigator guide you on your journeys. Yes, and I will take your hat there, sir. And we will also reach level 14, as it were. There we go. Let's... oh, I don't have... So let's see what quest you have for me, good sir. On the dry docks. Oh, you've got boots. Could use a pair of boots. Forge Master, yes. Head to Naldic and Vimelis. Want you to assist in the workload over at the Morby dry docks. Let's say to taking on some work from Naldic and Vermelis. We have a great hulking warship to build and could certainly use some extra hand for any number of tasks. For your first job, I need you to run this missive over to Adbrim, the head shipwright at the Morby dry docks. We forge most of the ship's bits and pieces here at Armorers Guild, but the actual construction takes place at the docks found in the south of Lower Lanosia. That's also where you'll find the main offices of Naldic and Vimelis. Hey, now the cat. What's going on? How are you, my friend? Good to see you. I will give you a. Let me give you a shout out, my friend, as always. Everybody, if you could please, if you do not know me now, the cat. Now the cat is an old friend of the channel, another streamer here. Is also a very cool person. Please go give them a follow and say hello once in a while if you see them on. How you doing now, the cat? It's good to see you, my friend, as always. If you have no confidence in your sense of direction, you'd best serve making course of the Chocobo Perder's first floor of the mizzen mast, in case you were wondering. Alright, and we shall sit there, and I will use the porter to get there. If I can. Right, Lower La Nocia. I know it, I don't believe it's that far away. Let's see, Morby Bay. It looks further than it is. And we'll go across the fearless little ladybugs. No, I don't think I have to kill. No, those I've killed already. I think I have to go kill those frog things for my log. We'll go kill. I think it's 3 of them. Nope. Well, I don't have to kill any of them. You live today, my froggy friends. I think I might have already hit all the things I need to hit. That thing is actually too low level for me to bother with, so fuck it. Okay, let's see how much further. Not too much. I have left the sanctuary. Even in Fantasyland, they still have these needs to protect people from falling rocks. I used to see that all along some of the. You're driving through the Catskill Mountains and the New York State. To see those, you know, on the side of the roads to protect you from falling rocks. Lightning sprites. A wild jackal. We'll go here and register ourselves at the Chocobo Keep. Here we go, and we've registered to this. In between where I live in Colorado and mountain towns 30 minutes away, recently after a decade without a dockside, a huge boulder actually rolled down and crushed. Oh my god! That's crazy. Fair enough. Okay, so now as we get later in Owen Walker, there's usually a dude standing here that will send you to your private island that you eventually get rewarded in this game. Or awarded in this game. Pretty cool. I'll never feel as comfortable driving. Yeah, no shit. I wouldn't either. Listen, I can survive a number of things, but getting crushed by a multi-ton boulder, not one of them. You have a missive for me from Forgemaster that name. I assume it pertains to the pending arrival of materials I ordered over a moon past. Let's see it. Let's see it. Hand it over. All right, you got it. I'll really hand it over this time. Here you go. You better give me my boots. Blasted botheration. Another delay. I am well aware of the shortage of skilled artisans. But this is insufferable. My apologies. The messenger does not deserve to bear the brunt of my frustration. Might I have your name? Sure. Melkington. Sherilyn, is it? Well, Sherilyn, this proud maiden you see taking shape before you is the Victory, the first new vessel to grace the docks since the calamity. We may have lost the bulk of our ships on that fateful day, but starting with this beauty, we will restore the Maelstrom's fleet to its former glory. The Victory is more than a simple warship. It is the symbol of Limsa rebirth from the records wrought by the coming of the 7th Umbral Era. That was a mouthful. Thus, we are striving to complete her construction as swiftly as possible, even going so far as to hire veteran shipwrights from outside the Thalassocracy. Wow, the Thalassocracy. Yet even with such unprecedented measures, there are never enough hands to handle the abundance of tasks. Should you choose to linger at the docks for a time, there is no end of odd jobs for a hard-working adventurer. Be you fair warned, this is no place for layabouts and troublemakers. Yeah. Just give me my boots. Oh, gloves. Okay. Adbrim is looking for a member of his crew and the items he was supposed to deliver. Of course he is. Where in 7 hells is that man? Not once in 12 moons has he been late with a shipment, and now 2 whole turns of the sun without a single word. A shipwright of mine, a young man named whatever the fuck that is, recently left Candlekeep Quai to retrieve several crates of supplies ordered from Limsa, but has yet to return. I've sent several missives to Haldebroda, but his replies are always the same. He does not recall ever seeing the rite nor the supplies he was scheduled to collect. The man knows something, and I severely doubt he is telling the whole truth. As I cannot leave my post, I would ask you to travel to Candlekeep Quai in my stead and inform Albroda that if he insists on playing these games, I will personally see that he's transferred to Turtleback Island, where he can rot alone in the middle of the sea for an eternity. Sir, you have some unresolved anger issues. Can I go out any of these doors? Yes. All right, here we go. Oh, I don't need to kill any crabs or sprites. I do think we go under here, and then we can take this, make a left, and wind up at our destination. Look, this crab isn't even angry. Jakatsu, hello, hello, my friend. How are you tonight? Let me give you a shout out, my good friend Jakatsu. My friend Jakatsu here is another variety streamer, VTuber like myself. She streams a variety of games, and most recently, she's working on finishing up Final Fantasy 16. She is the only streamer I know that routinely fully completes a game. So, if you are at all interested in somebody with a wonderful voice, a friendly personality, and somebody who will grumble if the characters making stupid decisions in the game. Also, make sure to ask her what she thinks of Ethan from Final Fantasy VIII. I'm sure she will give you a little bit of an earful about Ethan and his lack of look at things. Just vibing. How are you, friend? I am doing just fine. Actually having a blast going through this. Believe it or not, Jakatsu, I forgot how small the story is, but even at that, there were two main points that I think just going through and replaying it, because I actually didn't play it starting in Laminza. I always played it starting in either Ul'dah or in Gridania. So starting here has definitely been a little bit of an eye-opener, because I didn't get to play the Y'shtola questline to start out. And so we did the first part, which I was like, okay. So, of course, when you first get into the city, you hear about how they don't have a memory, and we know why that is. And I was amazed at how much sense that made now that I was thinking about it, because of a certain someone that tells us something and a few expansions later. And Healer Y'shtola yet still did, and we first had our first sign of a robed figure summoning a golem. That was also pretty cool. So, I am having a little bit of a blast going down memory lane here. And I'm actually getting excited about all these, like, random pieces of gear that I'm picking up. You know, just because, like, I forgot. Also because, who could they... I know. But also because, like, they did go through and update the textures on all of these original outfits. And look at how nice they look now. Like, most of them. But a lot of them look a lot better now. Haldbroda. Do we doubt him? Yes, we do. Does that self-righteous dog, Atbrim, doubt that I've ever told him anything less than the truth? In fact, yes! You and your stupid handlebar mustache. Turtleback Island. He cannot do that. Can he? I swear in my poor Nana's grave, Navigator, rest her soul, I know naught of that name, nor his precious supplies. Hells, we here at the Quai have had enough trouble these past few suns. With the sinking of that Laminza cargo ship off the Salt Strand, I haven't had the time to take a proper piss, let alone take note of every scrag that wanders off in the grip. All right, but you gave me gloves, and that's what matters. Finally, color coordinated, sort of. Those gloves do look a little bit too red for the rest of the uniform, but I'll let it slide. Also, with the upgrade, you can definitely tell that this man has not missed an upper body workout day. Dude, come on. Aldbroda has a suggestion for the kind of adventurer who came. bearing Foreman Atbrum's message. Now, the way I see it, if you have the time to be standing here questioning my character, then you most certainly have the time to get that ass of yours down to the Salt Strand and help us search for survivors from the wreck. Who knows, you may just run across that, whatever his name is, everyone seems so eager to find. Here's to hoping that the navigator hasn't found him first. All right, dude. I'm gonna use your mustache handlebars later. Hey, look, another adventurer running off on a quest that I'm probably same quest that I'm doing. Who'd have thunk? Up there's what's his name? Dude, how did a lad like you of such an imposing stature get lost? I'm whatever my name is. You say Foreman's wandering on me whereabouts? I thought he might be. But you must know, I cannot show my face at the dry docks until I've righted the terrible wrong I caused. 2 nights past, I made a trip from the dry docks to Candlekeep Quay. Just as the foreman asked, the seas were right rough, and the captain of the cargo ship was wary of bringing her too close to the cliffs. So I paid a few coins to a fisher to take me out to meet her. By the time I was halfway twixt shore and ship, the swells had risen so on nigh of 10 yalms, and 'twasn't long before the waves had had hold of us. Try as we might to steady the boat, nature's grip was too tight, and we was flung headlong into the Leminson galley. When I woke, both ships were gone, and the cargo I was to collect lay strewn across the Salt Strand. So I made every effort to salvage it, but the sands are crawling with quickrin, and I ain't one with a sword. Now you see why it is I cannot return to the dry docks. Yep, you want me to go fetch shit that you lost because you were dumb. And that man is just... There we go. This is it? This is the rigging? That's it. Anything else I need to kill down here? Excuse me. I mean, the rudeness of that fellow. I swear. Now I'll go run back to my friend past these friendly crabs. That night I was tossed into the sea like some doll of rags. And it weren't long before the world around me faded to black as I slipped deeper into the abyss. But lo, the navigator wouldn't see me to the gates of the 7 hells, and I woke to find myself washed ashore. And here I've been, ever since, waiting for a chance to salvage me master's cargo. Well, I'm going to hand this over to you, and if you get your shit knocked in again, don't come looking at me, because I have other things to do, whatever the fuck your name is. The missing parts. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Okay, start by not doing silly things in the middle of a storm. I'll deliver the supplies right away. But first, I must stop by the quay so that I might pay me respects to the widow of the brave fisher who gave his life for a handful of coin. Could you tell Atbrim that I'll be back at the dry docks by nightfall? Many thanks, adventurer. I will not forget this kindness. Yeah. I know what you're doing, you crazy bastard. This man's going to comfort that sailor's wife. You know what he's going to do. Homewrecker. There's something up here, but I don't think it's... How much time is 8:57? Nah. I'm gonna turn in this quest. Then we're gonna take a... Well, I'm actually impressed. I've been out for like 2.5 hours doing more questing. This makes me happy, actually. I was actually thinking about doing this all day. But I had other things that I had to take care of first today. Including getting some cinnamon bread earlier at the grocery store for some French toast tomorrow morning. I got the good stuff, the Pepperidge Farm swirl. You're gonna make French toast, Pepperidge Farm swirl. Pretty good, just saying. Did I go the wrong way? Yeah, I went a little bit too low. I went low when I should have gone high. Thankfully, it's not blackjack, and I'm not going to get fucked. I am relieved to hear that both What's-His-Face and the supplies are unharmed, though it was foolish of him to believe that I would blame him for that, which was obviously out of his hands. You see, there was no storm that day, and the seas were adjacent to the dry docks, were as calm as the summer child. This leads me to believe that the trouble the ships encountered from Candlekeep Quay was of a less natural sort, the sort with which the Sahagin might have been known to conjure. And we've reached level 15. Okay, for the moment, just bear with me for a sec. We're gonna pause. We're gonna stop the playthrough of A Realm Reborn here. We're gonna switch over to my other character. We're not gonna be doing anything plot-wise, so if you're in darn, anything else, we're just gonna check in on Sherilyn here. We'll go up, and you can see the big difference in stuff. So I'm on. By the way, Jacko, I'm on Siren, so I'm still on Aether Data Center with that. Now, of course, after you've played through the adventure, you've got to relax. And the game is not exactly known for shying away from offering you a number of different outfits with which to relax in. All right. This is my house. And we are going to go check our lottery numbers. Because that's what I do every Saturday night. I check my lottery. I never win, but it's always fun to do. Go to the Cactpot board. Okay. Okay, and we have 3. One more. Cool. Still got like three grand. I'm back. Had to stop in and say hi on a friend. No, of course. No problem. Welcome back, Nathan. So let's see. We did our lottery. I'm just switched back to my main character. So like just because this is just to give you an idea of like what some of these different places look like. We'll go over to Sinus Lacrimum. Because as the game gets bigger, it really gets bigger. And the mounts definitely make it easier. Nathan, I know you'll get this, perhaps more than anybody else. The moon's haunted. It really is haunted. In fact, this was a funny meme going around where there was a guardian and the warrior of light just going at each other going, moon's haunted. Oh yeah. Emoji. That's pretty over here. This is this is what I love. This is my favorite minion in the game and has been with me now for almost a year or just over a year. The Corn Servant. It is a sentient corn that has an epic quest line that is just part of probably one of my favorite quests in the entire game ever. Now, one of the other really cool places in the game, and this is like what I say, well, like the music gets so much better in the game, is like here. Jacko knows. It's like it goes far beyond medieval. Yeah, this was a lot of people will say that Shadowbringers was their favorite expansion, but I really felt hard for Endwalker. Endwalker had some of the best payouts in my opinion of gaming in terms of writing and plot and everything. And Jakatsu, I think I actually finally figured out what my main issue with Dawn Trail was, because I've been playing the post, patches now, catching up to everybody. And my main issue is that for me, going from like full on like a sprint at Endwalker, with all the story points paying off, to going back to a small story, a smaller scope story, was jarring. Okay, that's what it was to me. That's what Dawn Trail, why Dawn Trail felt a little bit weaker to me. It had nothing to do with the characters. There is a little bit of pacing, but there's always a little bit of pacing issues in every 14 expansion. That's, I think, the main thing, looking back at it in retrospect. And it took me going back to look at A Realm Reborn and then wanting to play it again to make me really more appreciate what Dawn Trail has going for it. Now, I do think that some of the quests were a little bit just like one of the quests that always sticks out to me. I think there were too many escort this person here quests. Those I didn't care for too much because it just felt like, okay, now I'm just walking around doing a tour, which I could do other ways. But yeah, I think you're right. And I think with the stuff that's going on with the Queen, yeah, that definitely looks like it's going to be interesting. But I do think that they also brought in one of our robed friends, and that's definitely piqued my interest. I can't wait to see what they do with that, because I was wondering, there were 14. We've only dealt with a few of them, like half roughly. But I want to cosplay the new iPad kid for some reason. Oh, you mean Calyx? I could say his name. You want to cosplay Calyx? All right. I could see that. You know, Calyx reminds me so much of 9S. Just in the design. I really feel like that his design was like kind of influenced by Nier. I have the height for it. I know you do. I know you do. That's funny. That's actually funny. It's also nice to actually just want to log into 14 to do stuff. Like before this, I was actually on looking at what I need to do to update all my gear and all the crafting, and to then finish up some quest lines that I need to do. I do still need to snag you to finish up an old quest line from Shadowbringers that I completely must have just missed. Snag you and probably one other, because by now we should be able to solo that shit. But so that I could finish not Cryos, so that I could finish Kitaru's quest line in Endwalker. But yeah. And I realized that if I'm correct, we only have, so right now we're raid wise, we're still in tier 2 of the main raid content. We're only on the cruiser weight, right? We're not on, we haven't done the heavyweight yet in terms of the raid tier. So there's still one more tier to come out. Tier 2 for both, and then we're on tier 2 for the Alliance raid too. Okay. So I am kind of working. I've already caught up to where I could start running the second tier, because I know I still got some time to run that till I think sometime in October, and then I want to get the other one run. And I'm still now I know I have all the recipes for my crafting gear. The only thing I still will have left is to make the next tier of raid gear, which should be in the next patch. Oh, I also, this isn't ARR. No, I was just in ARR. I just came to check my stuff here. Grant, I'll show you where I am, actually. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Grant, my immune system is punching my liver. Listen, my body doesn't listen. I'm having a fight with my gallbladder. We're getting a divorce. The group therapy, the couples therapy didn't work. But before I can do that, I have to get my immune system like calmed down because right now it's like angrily massaging my liver, and I am getting treatment for that starting on Monday. I'm seeing a specialist. Couples therapy is a scam. Yeah. I missed you. I was actually gonna message you earlier, man, but then I went out. Then Dad wanted to get something for dinner, so we went out to get dinner, and then we're fighting his organs. I said, yeah, I'm gonna make a fucking video game. No, I got back and I've been playing here for a while, but like earlier I went out and grabbed dinner. I leave my gacha games open all the damn time. I have Discord everywhere. But yeah, no, I'm good. But Grant, I need some crafting macros because my crafting macros are no good, and I need to make the new gear. Because holy crap. I haven't really played in a while. Like I log in to go to fucking Golden Saucer every day, but that's like it usually. It's just recently that I got started back again. My macros may not work for you. Depends on what gear. Yeah, I need to. First I need the gear, and I got to do the melds before I can do the new gear, and then I'm not even gonna like fuck around with the other stuff because like October I'll have everything. Yeah. I know yours is all pentamelded. Listen, I know you and Shiro and Hoss have all your gear pentamelded, and it was like crafted like the day that it dropped. I know that for a fact. Yeah, but I'm playing on Siren. This is my new Miko. I'm doing a fresh playthrough. So I just finished up to the first part of Morbidox. And I'm working through all of the Limbs of Laminza side, which I actually never did before. So it's been cool to see all this new stuff. And it's been cool to actually sit down and actually like want to get back in and play 14, like I was telling Jacko. It's been fun, but I do need to get back and like finish some gear, do some stuff, and I've also been doing my daily farm for my for the maps because the new maps are pretty good. Not even gonna like. Okay, let me ask you a question, buddy, because I gotta know, Grand. How far are you along in getting all of the weapons for all of the characters that you have leveled? Bro, I need to do more maps. Yeah, Chikatsu. That's why I'm farming them, so that I can like get maps, so that we could all do maps again. You mean the relics? Yeah, well, yeah, the relics too, because I'm sure you've been doing the relic things. Oop, we get a spiked bronze Labrys. I'll take it. Also need to empty my pockets first. Pikachu, we're not talking about that. Do you still have the spaghetti and meatballs? I'm only doing 3 relics. I have 2, and I have 2 of them. Okay. Rumthade. Head to the watch here at Dry Docks. Believes that pirates may be plotting an attack on the Victory. She requires assistance investigating a group of unsavory individuals making camp nearby. I have recommended you for the task. What of nothing? I'm not judging. I don't judge. You know me. I just was asking a question. Despite all Limbs elements endured before, during, and following the calamity, the fact that there are still those who would turn their backs on the city-state so they might line their pockets with a few handfuls of coin, just the thought of it sickens me. But for Savage, I got the weapons I wanted. Now I just do merc parties. Free guilt? Fair. That is fair. Wait. I think it's this guy that has the cat quest. Nope. One of them has the cat quest, and I'm going to do it. Storm Captain. Yeah, yes. I had a feeling you would be the one Atbram sent. Since you first arrived at Morby Dry Docks, I've had my men watch you. Not creepily, but they've been watching you. Oh, there's no need to get angry. I make it a point to keep an eye on all those new to the area. It is simply protocol. And I like to watch. That's what he's really saying. And you'll be pleased to know that nothing incriminating was found. You appear to be a model citizen. That, and the foreman seems to think somewhat highly of you. But honestly, I'm only looking forward to the Savage Tier and Alti in the Deep Dungeon. Everything else is worthless in my MO. Just give me 8.0 already. Fair. Okay. Which I must admit alone is quite shocking. The man doesn't even trust his own mother. Very well then, I assume Atbram informed you of what your task would be. The pirates, we believe, are conspiring to raid the dry docks here. And were last seen making camp near the ancient stone called Mark of the Spinner. I would have you approach the men, posing as a lost adventurer, and see if you can somehow learn of their intentions. I'm not even... Kanago, stationed near the real gates, can provide you with the exact location of the camp. Just give... We'll get that reveal soon enough. I need good luck today. And my NFL bets. Oh, God. That's right. It's Sunday. All right. Listen. Hang on. Let me get the ceremony prepared. I've got to light the candles. And I need an old priest and a young priest. Okay. Chat, I need you to pray for Grand's money. I bet 20. If I win, I get a... well, okay, listen, let's hope he wins, right? All right, so here we go. Oh, RNG gods above in the NFL, the great NFL cloud of fortune, please find it in your hearts to favor my buddy Grand Mastodon with good odds today and let him win his bet. Let him show the miracle of your good graces by turning a mere $20 bill into over $1,175. I humbly beseech you, on behalf of the great dice and domino set above, favor him with your RNG. That is the best I can do for you, Grand. May it see you well and see you to victory. Carolyn, haha, I knew it. No more sardines for Kanago here. Tonight I shall dine on the finest salmon on the peninsula. Why? Well, I had a little wager going with some of the other guards on whom Atbram would recommend for my next job. My money was on you. Ah, the job, yes, of course. If you follow the road past the gates to the southeast, you'll eventually come to a barren cape with a single large stone half buried in the cliff, overlooking the sea. Followers of the 12 say it's a holy place dedicated to Nemea, the spinner. I'd be surprised if the pirates camped up there were aware of that, though. Well, let us get Miss Kitty Cat. You are a cat, right? I can't see from here, and we've gone too far. Yeah, I'm also, like, reading through this, trying to get better at, like, build up a little bit of vocal stamina for streams. And also just, like, you know, like, doing some, like, practicing VA and doing stuff. Having a little bit of fun. Oh, no, I'm going the right direction. What the hell is wrong with me? Don't answer that. It's not up on a bluff. It's down on the cliff, you bastards. Oh, uh-oh. It's a Of course. There's one disreputable pirate and two loyal scrags. Cutscene. I'm giving you to the count of 9 to step back on that path and carry your venturing ass back to whatever rock it is you crawled out from under. You see, I's added up to me ears with your type, roaming the hills like they was years to roam. It's getting to be that a man can enjoy a mug of rum without some shite breath outlander running up and asking which is the way to the local leave met. 7 L's if I know I'm a bloody pirate, goddammit. Those balls. Once I have my boy back, I'm putting this god's-forsaken pisshole of an island so far behind me ain't no one will remember I was ever here. Come on, Scrags. We's knives to sharpen. Actually, that would be a lot better than I thought it would, because that writing has been fucking me up something fierce for the last couple of days. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nelk, you're level 15, almost level 16. Why haven't you gone back to the Warriors spot, to the Marauders place to get more training? That's because I'm lazy. I will shortly. Ah, Grim thought her. So the trespassers are indeed pirates. And they are indeed planning something. But what is this talk of getting me boy back? Could it be their target never was the victory? Something is not right, and I won't sit idly waiting for those pirates to make the first move. No, I shall order increased patrols immediately. Yes. Thank you again for your help, Sherilyn. It appears we were wise to put our trust in you and follow you around with magical cameras. Creepy bastard. Grim Thota, a captain of the watch at the Morby Dry Docks, wishes your aid in dealing with the potential intruders. I am concerned, Sherilyn. It appears the pirates... I had you investigator on the move, yes. They creep ever closer to the dry docks, and I must assume they mean to target the Victory herself. That ship is the symbol of everything Limsa strives to become, and I will not allow these base scoundrels to lay a single finger on her hull. No, no, no. We must apprehend them before they put their plans into motion, and you, Sherilyn, are just the woman to do it. With your capable assistance and huge tracts of land, I fear the security of the dry docks cannot be guaranteed. Not a moment ago, my guards submitted reports of suspicious activity in the area. Yes. Pray begin your efforts by listening to one of the accounts firsthand. Just one. It matters not whom you choose to speak with, but be sure to question either Earthsworst, whose father was a sausage maker, at the front gate, or Kanago at the rear. I've heard Kanago likes the rear. Any suspect saboteurs you encounter during the course of your investigation are to be interrogated. Report any and all findings directly to me. Yes. Okay. I'm just going to go back to Catgirl. How is your salmon? Hail, adventurer. Glad to have another hand aboard to help shore up security. The gods knows our reports would sit on Grim Thota's desk, gathering dust if it weren't for the assistance of those such as yourself. Ah, So Grimthruid has a empty uniform, you say? Speaking of reports, though, I saw one of the mangy pirates lurking around the cliff near the empty heart. I'd take a closer look before he has a chance to cover his tracks. Indeed, I will. We'll just casually, like, march past this megalo crab. He was just chilling, minding his own business, thinking about, like, eating shrimp. As crabs are wont to do, I would say. Oh, too far up. There's usually some sort of for the love of Pete. I don't know if that was coming through rough for you guys. Was the audio a little bit fucked up there? Or was that just me? I can't tell. Let me know. Nope. All right. It's not on my internet. Okay. Hang on a second. I'm going to log out and log back in. Okay, that sounds better. Okay. We'll try this again and see if we can get through this one quest, and then we'll be back tomorrow, I think, in the afternoon, and we'll play some more of this because I'm just having I actually am having a lot of fun playing this right now. I forgot, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this part of Limsa takes us to level 20, and then we go out into the greater world and start doing more of the typical Final Fantasy style quests. So, yes, there will be another stream tomorrow. And then I'll set up a schedule for the rest of this week. Okay. Oh, yeah. There you go. That's for you, Grand. Ah, shifty-eyed sailor. Bah! Spotted me, did you? Hold on. Ooh. Bah, spotted me, did you? Well, you're too late. What's to happen is already happening. That wasn't much of an interrogation, now was it? Well, I see there's no fast way down there. I guess I'm running back. Ah, there's the captain. Level sync if you're above the maximum, whatever. Ooh, we got a duty. All right, all right. So you found me one of those pirates, did you? I knew you were the right adventurer to ask for this aid. But what could these knaves be planning? Yes. What's to happen is already happening. Captain, trouble at the shipyard. And I need to hit the gym. Easy now, soldier. Who did this to you? Pirates, out of nowhere. Struck me good. Stuck me good, excuse me. Gods below, we are not prepared for this. I mean, we're a professional military outfit. How could this possibly happen to us? The pirates, soldier. How many do they number? Not sure. More than I could quickly count. Seem to be carrying explosives. Not explosives. There's no time to lose. Sherilyn, you heard the situation. Make your way to the shipyard and engage these intruders. Surely you, a lowly adventurer not nearly as well armed as we are, could possibly do more than we could. I will see to this man's wounds and then follow after. Make haste, now. Sure, okay. I got it, Choppy. Let's go play Choppy. Okay. Well, let's just check them out. Ah, there they are. Like, all right, I've run into like literally 4 of these guys, and they got bows. I'm surprised this cat girl could lift a bow. Where the hell is that coming from? Ah, Fap Master Captain. That's what I'm calling him. I've never reckoned it'd be this easy. Still don't trust those slimy bastards, but their plan worked like a charm. Huh. What are you doing, you great bloody fool? Shut your trap, boy. This will all be over soon, and that's all. And all that's left now is to blow this ugly pile of driftwood into splinters. Why would you do such a thing? Have you any idea how important this ship is? What it represents? Aye, and that's what makes it all the sweeter. Whatever it takes to knock some sense into me treacherous backstabbing son. Imagine a boy of mine giving up the pirate life to become a shipwright and building a bleeding maelstrom vessel, and at that? What under Lemellin's wide green ocean made you take up these self-righteous shites? You're the only one with no bloody sense, Dad. Don't you see? The pirates had their glory days, but that era is over. I wondered why Altbrim never spoke of his father. I never would have thought. This ship's a symbol, all right, of everything that went wrong with the world. And I mean to shatter into 100,000 pieces. And my pink pirate's up top, too. Grim Thoughta. Sherilyn, pray beat the tar out of this bloated sea slug and make sure no harm comes to the Victory. Okay. I'll hacky your dad. I don't remember Mamulja being there in the originally. I must be getting old. Did some green venture get the best of me? Dad. Come on, Grandpa, let's get you back to the retirement home. It's time for bingo and pills. It's one big bloody ship. Big and nasty looking. You made that, did you? My thanks, Sherilyn. I shudder to think what may have become of the Victory without your intervention. Well, it probably would have been blown up into 100,000 little pieces like your dad said. The pirates have made a right mess of things. I'd best get to sorting out the docks. And my thoughts could use some sorting out as well. Ever did my father have a way with turning my life upside down? Pray convey my thanks and my apologies to Grim Thoughta. Ray, return to this waking sense. Nope, not yet. It's too early for that. It's too early for that. How fare you, Sherilyn? I cannot begin to thank you for the role you played in presenting this madness. Also, I got hit on the head, so I stopped speaking like an asshole. You defended more than a simple ship. You saved the budding hope of Limsa Lominsa from a violent demise. The day was yours. It seems our security regimen will require much in the way of improvement if we are to truly keep the dry dock safe. Altbrim apologizes? Well, I suppose I can understand why he would feel responsible for his father's actions. Of all those involved, this incident was hardest on him. But in time, I believe he will come to a single conclusion. The most fitting way of moving past his anguish is to see the Victory completed and in the border. Oh, and by the way, the pirates we defeated have been handed over to the Yellow Jackets. Rainer's men will be taken over the investigation. Before the Yellow Jackets moved in, however, we recovered a most unusual object. If you have some spare time, I would ask you another favor. Antidote. Very cool. Utterly useless, but pretty cool. What is this other favor you would ask? First of all, Grimthada wants to entrust you with an important task. Carolyn, in light of your role in recent events, there are few others to whom I would entrust this task. Since last we spoke, a curious missive has been discovered amongst the personal effects of Adzaphan, Adavan, the pirate behind the plot to sabotage the victory. This missive was penned in the most unusual script, a script we believe to be of some manner of code. Needless to say, anything which a proven enemy of Limsa Lominsa deems worthy of enciphering is like to be of great interest to the Maelstrom. Unfortunately, none among us can make any sense of the message. In cases like this, I am told the Yellow Jackets are wont to turn to Battaron and his convenient connections. Thus, I would have you deliver this missive to the proprietor of the Drowning Wench into his hand and no other. Do you understand? Ah, yes. It'll be a long and arduous journey back to Limsa Lominsa. Ah, Limsa Lominsa. The most Isley of Final Fantasy XIV. All right. This is an easy enough question. I know. I'm getting to the point where it's like, oh, just one more. Ahoy there, Sherilyn. I've been hearing about your deeds at the Dread. Oh, God, no, it's you. Adprim laid the entire tale for me. Poor Sod was still reeling at his old man's part in the business. But at least you kept the victory from being sunk before she sailed. And for that, I owe you me thanks. You've already made a name for yourself here in Limsa, lass. Folk know that when they need something done, you need something done. Man, what might that be? You want something red? All right. I reckon I might know a canny bugger who can read stuff like this. Ugly sod by the name of Battaron. You know, like one only regular, Sherilyn. You've never let me down, and Navigator helped me. I reckon I can trust you. Grimthota was right to want this message deciphered. We've got us some trouble brewing here, and make no mistake, get ready for action, and I'll explain. Okay, it is 2:10 a.m., and that is where I believe we're going to call it for the night. But if you will hang out with me for just a second, I'm going to attempt to send a raid over. Hold on. We are going to send a raid out. If she is still, is she up? You alive? Yes, she is. Okay. Let's send a raid out. My friend AJ Watts, who is currently playing through some of Endwalker in a lore run. And, well, AJ's been a long-time friend of mine. Wonderful streamer. And I can't think of a better place to send you all. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And I'll be back tomorrow in the afternoon, I believe, with some more 14 of Realm Reborn.